Hi everybody, and thank you for joining me. My name is Patricia Preston, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I'm coming to you today to show you 3 really cute and easy origami fold treat pouches. And today I'm going to be using products from our Sale-a-bration catalog and our mini catalog that started on January 5th and runs through June 2021. So here we go. Let me get started and show you some of these simple folds and easy ways to decorate. So first up, we're going to be looking at a diaper fold pouch. I'm sure you've seen these before. There are tons of examples out there. These are just a really easy way to make a favor for a table, or maybe just a birthday gift for a coworker or a teacher, to spread some joy, maybe a postal worker. So these are the first ones that we're going to be doing, but here are some samples using some Sale-a-bration paper and the mini catalog paper. And then we're going to be using 2 sheets of DSP to make these sour cream container no adhesive treat pouches. Aren't they cute? And you can decorate them up as much as you wish, or make them as simple as you wish as well. So that will be our second project today. And then third up is a little bit more complicated, but still easy. And these are a Origami Star box with a custom lid. You can put lots of goodies in here, or maybe even a diamond ring for an engagement. So these are using some, again, papers from the Sale-a-bration catalog and the mini catalog as well. And I will be demonstrating that for you as well, so you can see how those are made. All right, so let's get started. One other thing that I am going to be using for some of the sentiments that I think is brilliant is the Many Messages stamp and die set. These cut all one sheet, and I use my Stamparatus to make it very easy. And then you have tons of greetings, and then you can pick and choose if you want to add one to your treat pouch. But love this set. Whoever designed this, brilliant. All right, so let's get started. So I'm going to bring this in again to show you the sample. So whatever pattern that you would like to show mostly on the outside and in the back, you want that face down. So make sure your paper is nice and square. And this is a 6x6 DSP using the Suited DSP from that collection. You're going to take the bottom point, fold it up in half, use your bone folder to make a nice crease. You're going to take the right point of this triangle and fold it over so that it is nice and parallel with the top. Now this does have lines on it, so we can probably eye it up like this. I like to use grid paper as well. And we're going to crease that. Then we're going to bring the left side over, crisscross it, and make that same fold and go right to the point here on this corner, crease and fold. Now you have something that looks like this. You can see it taking shape. You're going to take this top corner, or this top corner here, and we're going to fold it down. And there's your pouch. Now you do need a little bit of adhesive. You can use your choice of adhesive for this, but I like Tombow on 3D projects just because it's easy. You have a little bit of wiggle room, and it does give you good strength. You can choose to put a little bit of dab here, and then one here. Just a teeny bit. You don't need much. We'll give that a second to dry. Now I took one of those sentiments from the Many Messages bundle, and I chose Happy Birthday. So I'm just going to use a dimensional, and I'm going to adhere that to the front just to dress it up a little bit, but you certainly don't have to. Your paper speaks for itself. This suite is great for men, and they're always hard to figure out what to do, but I love this suite, and these make a perfect gift. So if you're having a birthday party, these are perfect for that, or just to give to someone just because. So that's our first diaper fold treat pouch. So simple. So next we're going to bring in and use 2 sheets of designer series paper measuring 6x6, and we're going to make a sour cream container that is no adhesive needed, unless you want to decorate it. So these are what we're going to make. And so for this treat pouch, I'm going to be using the Snail Mail DSP from the mini catalog. Excuse me. And for each piece that we're going to do, again, whatever pattern you want to show on the outside needs to be face down when you start your folds. And you can do both of them the same if you want, so that you'll see as I'm folding how to get two different patterns, or you can fold two of the same sheets of paper to get the same fold if you want to make it all the same. So I'm going to start, I want this one to be on the outside, and I want this to be on the outside of the other piece. So let's start with the first fold. Face down, we're going to put it in the diamond shape again. We're going to take the bottom, fold it up to the top, making sure those points match up. Provide a nice crease. We're going to unfold. We're going to take the bottom again and fold it up to the center mark. I'm using my finger to break down those fibers here. Line it up with that center score mark, so I get a nice, clean, crisp point. Fold and burnish. Same with the other side. Line it up to the center. Fold and burnish. We're going to fold the bottom point triangle here up even and keeping in line with the center score mark that runs along here and on the bottom sheet. So now we have a full triangle. We're going to take the top point of this triangle and fold it all the way down, keeping in line with the center score mark. Press and burnish. You can see we have something that looks like this. Now we're going to follow these already folded lines here to fold the right corner up. That's going to be our guide. The paper's starting to get a little thick here. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. Just like that. And we're going to set this aside. I'm going to bring in that second piece of designer series paper. I want this pattern to also be on the outside, so I'm going to start with it face down. We're going to do the exact same thing, but with one variation. So we're going to take the bottom point of this diamond shape, fold it up to the top, fold and burnish, open it back up. I'm going to fold the bottom into this center score line. Burnish again. I like to put my finger up here just to guide this paper so that it rolls nicely. I'm going to fold the bottom point up again, following that center score line. Now this is where it gets, we're going to make that one variation. We're going to flip the piece over, so there's no, it's all smooth here. We're going to take this top point and we're going to do the exact same thing, except we just flipped it over. So fold and burnish. Use this existing fold here as your guide to fold in on the outside flaps. So fold over the left, and we're making triangles. On the right. So we have two pieces that look almost identical. Now to fit them together, super easy. You see one that has a flap that goes like this, and one that has a flap on the back side. So we're going to take this and lay it in that triangle. You can see that it matches like this. And then tuck this on this side. So now see how they fit together like that. Now all we're going to do is we're going to fold the one piece of paper into the slots already that you see here. fold in so you get a nice fit. You're going to, insert your treat. I like to use Hershey Kisses or Lindt Truffles. I think I have one in here already. I can show you. So you want to put that in before you fold it up on the last piece. Fit that in there, and then fold in paper into that, just tuck it inside and kind of wiggle it around. Make your nice triangle, nice creases here, fit together, and there you have your treat pouch. The great thing about this is no one has to destroy it to get it apart. They can re-gift it to someone, which I love. They just simply untuck the piece of paper, remove the treat, and simply put it back. Now, of course, you can use these to give away. You can use them plain. Your paper speaks volumes, the patterns that you use. However, I like to use, decorate it up a little bit, kind of like this one. So you can choose to have a, whatever sentiment you want to have on it, and put a little ribbon, you know, use a little ribbon, tack it down here on this front side like this. Put your sentiment. It doesn't have to be destroyed, like I said, because that part is not even going to be touched, because the side flaps will be unfolded, and there you have it. So really cute treat pouches. People love these. I make them for craft fairs as well. People love them, and so versatile, any occasion. Okay, so on to our little bit more complicated project, and the supplies that you're going to need for this. This is for our Origami Star box. You're going to need one sheet of designer series paper measuring 6 by 6. You're going to need another piece of coordinating cardstock that measures 3.5 by 3.5, and we are going to score that, so you'll need a scoring tool or your paper trimmer to do that. And we are going to need some lid toppers. So I chose the stitch shaped dies. I chose the second and third largest dies to create those. I simply ran those through my die cut machine, cut them out with coordinating cardstock, so you can see here. And again, what this looks like is a custom box with a lid. Fellow demonstrator Linda Parker showed this in one of her videos using a 9 by 9 sheet of paper, but I wanted to be able to make a more efficient version, and so I pared it down to a 6 by 6, and I designed this custom lid that would fit this 6 by 6 box, and you can see how that's fit together there, and it's terrific. I love these little boxes. They make such a statement. Look really hard, but they really aren't. Okay, so here's how we're going to get started. Again, whatever pattern you want to see on the outside of your box, let me bring this in a second. So the majority of this is the pattern that I want to see. I want to be the daisies. The outside, or the opposite side, is going to be these flaps that fold down. So you need to decide how you want your paper to display. So I want the daisies to be primarily on the outside. So I'm going to start with my square. I'm going to fold into a rectangle. So I'm going to fold the bottom half up to the top, and we're just simply folding this in half. Fold and burnish. Open it up. We're going to fold it again to make that rectangle. Open it up again. So now we have hash marks here that make a cross. And we're going to turn it into the diamond shape, and we're going to fold point to point. And you do want to be careful, because we are manipulating this paper a lot, that this point at the bottom, try to be a little gentle on your folds so that the paper doesn't crack. We're going to turn it one more time for that diamond shape and get another cross hat here. So point to point. In this box, you do want to be really precise on your folds and your creases to make sure that the paper lines up. So getting that full square 6 by 6 sheet is what you need, and you will have nice folds and nice points and corners. then we're going to open it up, and we have all of these crease marks. And I know it's a little hard to see, but we basically have one every direction of this paper. So the ones that we did in the diagonal, they want to fold like this. We're going to put our finger in the center. We're going to pop this fold so that we're creasing it the opposite way. It looks like this. I'm going to fold it down and burnish it this way. We're going to do the same on the opposite corner, and it will fold pretty easily. And what you can see is we're making a square. We're going to reburnish all those. So let me show you that one more time. Pinch the diagonal triangles together, fold it down, and burnish. The opposite side, pinch the triangle in the opposite direction that we originally creased it, fold it down and burnish so that we have a square. Now this is important. We have a square that looks like this, but you can see that all the folds are closed, and then if we turn it around, we can see that the paper opens. We want to work with the paper opening at the top, so all of your tops should be like this. All right, so we're going to use existing score marks that we already made to finish the folds. We're going to take the first left side triangle, one flap, and we're going to fold it in using our finger at the top to guide us for that fold at the point. We're going to roll the paper a little bit because we're folding 2 sheets here, and we're going to fold it till it comes to the center score line. We're going to burnish. We're going to do the same on the left side. This is where you kind of have to tell the paper who's boss, but gently. All right, we're going to turn this over and we're going to repeat. So here's our center score line. We're going to take this left flap, or the right flap, sorry. We're going to guide the paper, just bend it a little bit with your fingers. Line it up with the center score mark. Fold and burnish. It's a little off there. And now the left side. You can see how the points are getting a little bit worn, so just be a little gentle with them. All right, so this is where the bone folder comes in handy. So we're going to open this flap back up like this, and we're going to insert our bone folder because it has a nice point on it. And we're just going to wiggle it so that we can get that fold, and we're going to flatten that point. And we're going to line this score mark up here with this fold. And we're just going to press it down and burnish. It's like this. We're going to do that again over here. So open, insert your bone folder, wiggle it till you get to that point so that you can flatten that point down and burnish. I'm going to turn it back over. We're going to repeat the process on these flaps. Open again. You want to just make sure that you're folding this crease here. It goes in line with this fold here. We're almost done with the folds. Now we have, looks like this. It's identical on both sides. Now we're going to turn one flap. So take the left side, fold it all the way over on top of the right side. Now this looks familiar. Fold this back. It's already creased. Fold this side back. You can see now we're forming those points at the top. Now this one didn't come quite in the center, but I think it'll be okay. All right, so we're just going to keep turning. got this. Just keep flipping it over and folding it back. And then fold this side back. So now, man, my paper ripped, but that's okay. We'll fix it. So now you have something that looks like this. It's identical on both sides, and we've got these flaps. So now we're going to start to make the box. One more fold. Take one of the flaps at the top, the triangles, and again, we're going to fold it down to make it even all the way to the bottom, not quite to the bottom, lining up that center score line with the center score line that's on this piece. Simply press and score. Turn left to right. Take the top triangle, fold it down again. And we can turn it over. Doing this again. And we've got one more. Tuck it in, fold it down. So now we have something that looks like this. All right. So now we're going to open it up, and here's why it's called a star origami box. You see the star shape? But it looks kind of like the box is not going to sit. So we're gently going to put our hand inside and roll our finger up the creases to go the opposite direction of that crease. And once you do that, it's going to pop out in a box shape. You don't have to be too forceful. You're just kind of rolling it in your fingers. And now we have a box shape like this. So now we're going to bring our Tombow glue back in, and we're going to adhere down the points to the side of the box. You can use hot glue if you like. Just be careful. I would use a high temp hot glue gun, or you can use the Tombow. And we're going to apply a little bit of glue on each flap and a tiny bit on the top point, because we definitely want to stick those down. You don't be too gloppy with your glue. And you need to press and hold that until it's totally set. Maybe 20-30 seconds. Because otherwise the points tend to curl up on you if they're not totally secure, and you let go before the glue is dry and ready to adhere. A little dab up there. So as you go around, you can continue pressing on the one that you did prior. I love this box. I think it's easy to make, but it looks like it's hard and gives a real wow when you give it to the recipient as well. And like I said, you can make these in different sizes as long as your paper is square. However, the trick comes in designing the lid that will fit inside. That's something that you would have to work out the measurements in. So mine is a 6x6. Linda Parker's was a nice 9x9 size, but you only get one out of one sheet of paper. And I wanted to be able to not waste a whole lot of designer series paper. And one more flap. And cardstock, I think, would be too thick to make this. I think that it would be a little too cumbersome with the weight of our cardstock to make this box. Not to say you can try it, but I just think the DSP gives such a wonderful display of our beautiful papers. And there you have it. There is our little box. You can choose to fit I believe it's a 1 7/8 by 1 7/8 square inside to reinforce the bottom. I've done that here on my sample. You can see, so you can choose your matching paper, whether it be black or granny apple green, and put that in the bottom. It just gives it a little bit more stable so that it doesn't fold up on you. So you can choose to do that. And all of the measurements and description of the paper that I've used today will be in the description of this YouTube video. So Let me set this aside. We're done with the bottom of the box. Now we're going to come in and do the top lid. So again, I've used the stitched framelits die. I've used the second and third largest from the largest dies to cut these out. I'm using Granny Apple Green and another swatch of this paper to coordinate to make this lid. But we need to make the inside so that it sits down inside the box nice and snug. So we're going to start with a piece of paper that is 3.5 by 3.5 inch square. And we're going to use our paper trimmer and our scoring blade, which seems to have disappeared on me. So I'm going to use my score here. And take your pick tool. So 3.5 by 3.5 inch square. We're going to score it at 1/2 inch and 1 inch on all 4 sides. So 1/2 inch, 1 inch, rotate, 1/2, 1, 1/2, and 1, and finally the last side, 1/2 inch and 1 inch. Bring in our bone folder again and a pair of paper snips because we're going to need to cut this paper up. And it's going to eventually look like this. This is our template. And you can see how I've cut it up. I've burnished all of the score lines. Real quick, I'll show you. And on one side, you're going to cut up the vertical score lines. And we're going to cut off the 2 squares on the ends, the 1 square in the next section. Like this, we're going to turn it all the way around, so opposing sides, and do the same thing. And then you're going to want to miter your edges. It just makes a box fit nicely together and gets rid of a little bit of bulk in the corners. So your final template is going to look like this. You can see I've mitered each of the squares and the rectangles here to make this box fit nicely together. You can use tear and tape if you want to. You can use Tombow. I'm going to use Tombow. And we are going to fold this up. And put a little bit of glue on these little tabs, square tabs. Fold them up and in. And pinch them. And you want this to be nice and square. So that's, again, why I like to use the Tombow glue, because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room and lets you get the paper set before it's totally stuck. Again, on this little square tabs, just a little dab of glue. Tuck those pieces in. Like that, and just pinch them for just a second, making sure your corners are nice and square. And then we're going to put a little bit of adhesive on the inside of these rectangle pieces. Top flaps here, just so that you can see. And we're going to fold those down inside the box to reinforce it. Just go around. And when you miter those corners, that's how you get rid of the bulk and the box fits nicely together. So really we're making a box, but we're going to use it as a inverted lid. I need to use my bone folder to give it a nice press on each side to make sure that glue really gives a nice adhering to the paper. Spreads it out underneath the cardstock. And there you have it. So that's what's going to be on the flip side of our box lid. So we're going to bring in those 2 stitched pieces of paper. I also have a 1/8 inch hole punch that I'm using. And you'll need just a little dab of ribbon. This is the Fine Art 3/8 inch ribbon from the catalog. You just need a tiny piece. I'll end up trimming this as well for our loop. So you can adhere your designer series paper to the center and line that up. And you're going to take your hole punch, and this happens to just fit nice, pretty much all the way in, and line it up in the center and give it a nice punch. Almost in the center. If you're a little off, that's okay. Take your ribbon, feed it through. Just so it's a little bit of a pull there. No need to tie a knot. And we're going to trim off some of this excess because we do not want extra. We want it as flat as possible so we don't have any bulk underneath when we glue that to it. So I'm just going to trim that. And I'm going to use a little bit of Stampin' Seal just to kind of tack this down. You can use Stampin' Seal Plus, but I'm out of it, so we will improvise for the video. We're just going to tack that down. Like I said, get it as flat as possible. And before you put glue on this, I recommend making sure that when you put this on like that, on the top, that you don't see any ribbons sticking out from the sides. So I think we're good. We're going to add some Tombow. And we're going to place this in the center. And press it, give it a nice press down. So the thinner ribbon you use, the less bulk you're going to have. And you don't really need to worry about, since you're gluing it on this piece on top, you don't really need to worry about the ribbon coming out of the hole because you are tacking it down. And they're really not going to need to tug on the ribbon anyway. So you could probably get away with using baker's twine or a nice sheer ribbon. There's a nice gorgeous grape ribbon in that Hydrangea Hill in the catalog that's beautiful as well. And that's what I used here on this sample. All right, so now we're going to bring our box back in, and this fits nicely into our box. So there you have it. There are 3 cute treat holders that I love, love, love. Super easy to make and give you a lot of wow. So we've got lots of choices here. So thank you for watching my video and joining today, and good luck with making your origami treat pouches. Talk to you soon. Bye.